Hi my dear students, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone are fine. So in this video, we are continuing with the lesson Control and Coordination. So this is the part 3 of this lesson. If you have not yet watched the previous videos, the links of those videos are given in the description box below. You can find those links. Yes, in today's class, I will be explaining about the parts and the functions of the nerve cell. But before explaining this nerve cell, it is very important to know two new words that we frequently speak in this lesson. So let me now start with those two words. The first word is stimuli and the second word is receptor. Firstly, you need to understand the meaning of these two words in order to understand the further concept. What is stimuli? Hope you all have heard this word for the first time. Okay, stimuli is nothing but a change that is happening around an organism. What is nothing but change? Say for example, you all are listening to the video right now. Suddenly, if your mother or father or someone calls you, what will you do? You will respond for the voice. Correct or not? You will respond for that voice. That means a change happened in your environment. What kind of change? A sound is produced. Your father called, your mother has called, right? A change is happening in your environment in the form of sound, and to that sound you all are responding. Correct? That is called as stimuli. Or suppose you enter the kitchen. Unknowingly, suddenly you have touched some sharp object or some hot object. What will you do? You will respond for it. Correct? You are responding for it. So what is this response? Why is this response happened? This response is because of the stimuli. That means when you touch a hot object, you felt hotness. When you touch a sharp object, you felt painful. Correct? So this pain or the hotness is the stimulus. So whatever that is happening around an organism, and for that, change, if an organism is responding, that is called as stimuli. I hope you are clear with this. That is called as stimuli. Stimuli. How can we define stimuli? Anything that happens, or we can also call this anything has a change. Okay. Anything that happens around an organism, for which an organism respond. If an organism is responding for any changes that is happening around, that is called as stimuli. I hope you are clear with this, right? So any changes it may be. If you are responding, so to the change that is happening, that is called as stimulus. Correct? So now the second word is receptor. What is meant by receptor? So receptors are nothing but a special tips, or we can say specialized tips. Where are these receptors present? Basically, receptors are present in the sense organs. Students, we all have 5 sense organs. Correct, right? How many sense organs do we have? We have 5 sense organs. Which are those sense organs that we have? We have eyes, we have ears, we have nose, then we have tongue as a sense organ, and also skin is the 5th sense organ. We all have 5 sense organs. In all these 5 sense organs, we have receptors. What is a receptor? I told you, a specialized tip is present in all these areas. So now why is receptor present? I told you, you are responding for the stimulus. Correct? Stimulus is nothing but what? A change that is happening. So there is a change that is happening, but for the change you are responding. Who is allowing you to respond? It is the receptor. Receptor will detect the stimulus. Receptor will detect the stimulus. Right now I told you, while you're listening to this video, if your mother is calling you, you will respond for it. How are you responding? See, firstly, you heard the voice. The voice is the stimulus. That voice has reached to your ears, one of the sense organ. In this sense organ, there is a receptor. A special tip is there. That special tip identified the voice that you have, received from the external environment. A change that is happening in your environment is being identified by the receptor present in your ears. Through that receptor, you are able to identify someone is calling or your mother is calling. I hope you understood. Receptors are nothing but, how can you define? It is a specialized tip. It is a specialized tip present in the, please note down whatever I am writing, present in the sense areas, or we can say sensory areas. In all the 5 sensory areas, there are receptors. When you touch hot object, you felt hotness to your skin. What is the skin? Skin is the receptor. Skin is the sense organ. And in this sense organ, what is there? Receptor is there. Clear? That is why you could able to respond for the change that you had received from the external environment. I think you're clear with this. Anything that happens around you, for that change, if you are responding, that is called as stimuli. Okay? A change for which an organism is responding is called stimuli, and the receptor is allowing you to respond. Why? Because receptors are the specialized tips. What are the receptors? They are the specialized tips. Where are they present? They are present in the sensory areas or sense organs. How many sense organs do we have? 5 sense organs. In all the sense organs, we have the receptors. So now it is the time to know what are the different types of receptors present in the different sense organs. I hope you have noted this. Please note down all the concepts. This is the best note which I am writing on the board. If you study this, you can perform very well in your test and examination. Okay, right. So now let us understand the types of receptors. Types of receptors. Types of receptors. See, we have photoreceptors, photoreceptors, phonoreceptors, phonoreceptors. We have olfactory receptors, gustatory receptors. We have thermoreceptors and thigmoreceptors. Thermoreceptor and thigmoreceptors. So these are the receptors present in our body. Where is it present? In our sense organs. Now let us understand what is the function of each of these receptors. So you can see, firstly I have written photoreceptors. Photo is nothing but light. Receptor is nothing but specialized tip. Photoreceptor, where is it present? It is present in the eyes. Present in the eyes. Where is it present? Present in the eyes. Okay. How is this photoreceptor helping you? It is helping you to detect the light. See, you can see anyone or any object when light falls on it. Without light falling on any object, it is not possible for you guys to see or watch any objects, right? So, there is a photoreceptor which is present in the eyes. These photoreceptors helps to detect the light. So, I can write helps to detect the light. This is very important. Helps to detect the light. Moving to next, phonoreceptors. Where are they present? Phonoreceptors, they are present in the ears. See, whenever somebody calls you, whenever you are hearing some sound, you are responding for it. Why? Because these phonoreceptors which are present in the ears, it is helping you to detect the sound. The sound may be the loud sound or maybe the very, slow sound, whatever the sound. Okay. See, frequency of the sound may differ, but you are able to detect the sound. Okay. Phonoreceptors. So, where are they present? Present in the, note down, present in the ears. They are present in the ears. What are they doing? I will write directly. So, note down what you have to write here. Helps to detect the sound. It is helping us to detect the sound. Clear? Moving to next, olfactory. Olfactory receptors, they are present in our nose. Okay. So, what is the purpose of nose? Nose is present to detect the smell. Correct. So, this receptor, so-called olfactory receptor, so where is it present? Present in the nose. Present in the nose. Okay. Helps to detect the smell. You have to write. Helps to detect the smell. This is very important. Moving to next type of receptor, gustatory. Gustatory receptors, they are present in our tongue. So what is the purpose of tongue? It is helping us to taste the food. Correct. So gustatory receptors, that means a kind of receptors which is present in the tongue. Okay. It is called as gustatory. They are helping us to detect the taste. So what you have to write? Present in the tongue. Present in the tongue. Helps to detect taste. Detect or identify the taste, you have to write. Next we have thermo and thigmo. Thermoreceptor and thigmoreceptor, they both are present in the skin only. What is the difference between thermo and thigmo? Thermoreceptors, they are helpful to identify the hotness and also the coldness of the body. If you're feeling hot, if you're feeling cold, see, there is so much of changes that takes place in our environment. Sometimes when we are standing under the sun, we feel very hot. Early morning, if you're traveling somewhere, you feel very cold, right? This coldness and hotness is detected by your skin. It is because of the presence of thermoreceptor. When you touch something, or somebody touches you, correct, you will respond for it. If someone is touching you or you are touching something, you are able to feel that, correct? So, this feeling is because of the thigmoreceptors. Thigmo is for touch. Thigmoreceptors are meant for touch. This is very important, children. Note down. Thermoreceptors, what are they doing? Thermoreceptors helps to detect hotness or coldness. Note down. Hotness or coldness. Thigmo helps to detect the touch. So where are they present? They are present in the skin. It is present in the skin. See, 5 sense organs are there, right? Eyes. In the eyes we have photoreceptors. In the ears we have phonoreceptors. In the nose we have olfactory receptors. In the tongue we have gustatory receptors. And in the skin we have thermo and also the thigmo receptors. I hope I am clear with this. This is very important. Please note down all these points. Right? Now I am going to explain you what are the different parts involved in the nerve cell and their function. Before explaining the nerve cell, to understand the basics is very important. For the nerve cell, stimuli is the basic. For the nerve cell, receptor is the basic. Without understanding these two concepts, it is very difficult for you to understand the nerve cell. Okay, right. So I hope you all have written this. Let me now continue with the next topic, that is the parts and the function of the nerve cell. So nerve cell is the next concept. Nerve cell can also be called as neuron. It is also called as neuron. What is neuron? Before getting into parts, you should know what is neuron. See, neuron is the basic structural and also the functional unit of the nervous system. See, we have cell in our body. What is cell? It is the basic unit of the life. Similarly, what is nerve cell? Nerve cell is the basic unit of nervous system. Clear, right? So that is what you have to understand. So it is the basic unit of nervous system. Basic unit of nervous system is called as the nerve cell. So hope everyone know the diagram of nerve cell, because in class 9 you all had the concept of nervous tissue, correct? So now let's write this diagram. Please take pencil and write along with me. They can ask this in the examination for 2 marks. Okay, if you are writing for the first time, okay, so you just draw a circle, a light circle here, in order to write the cell body. If you are writing for the first time, okay. If you are familiar with this diagram, you can directly draw the cell body. So this circle is meant just to give the support for the cell body. See, just to give the support for the cell body, I have written this. So after writing this, you can just remove this circle. Okay, right. Okay. So now write the branches that arises from the cell body. This is very important, children. So if you know this, it's very easy to understand. So let's now write the nucleus. Then here, let us write the axon part. Okay. So now I'm going to label this. See, these branches, we will call this as hair-like structures. These hair-like structures are dendrites. They are called dendrites. Next, this whole portion, we will call it as cell body or cyton. Okay. Now, this middle part, which I made it very darker, this region is called nucleus. Surrounded by nucleus, there is a fluid material. That fluid material, we will call it as cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. Next, this longest part of the nerve cell, we will call it as axon. And this end part, we will call it as axonal ending. What do we call it as? Axonal ending. So, whatever I am explaining right now, really, if you understand very well, your reflex action part becomes very easy. Okay. So, let us now understand the nerve cell. Okay. The parts and the functions of the nerve cell. The first part is dendrites. What is dendrite? Dendrites are the hair-like structures. What are dendrites? They are the hair-like structures and they receive the information. From where do they receive the information? Let us take an example. Say for example, here you have a hot object. I hope you all can see this. This is a hot object. This hot object is touched by a person. So what is the hotness called as? Hotness is the stimulus, correct? Hotness is the stimulus. When you touch hot object, that is the stimulus that you are receiving. So this stimulus is reached to which part of your body? That is, who will identify this stimulus? It is identified by the receptors. Who will identify this? This is identified by the receptors. You already know what is stimulus, what is receptor. So my job is done. So it is very important to understand these two, meanings of these two words. Only then your next part becomes very easy. Stimulus, you know, a change that is happening. Who will recognize that change? Receptor. So now what will this nerve cell do? Say for example, you have touched the hot object. The moment you touch the hot object, hotness is the stimulus which is detected by the receptor. Who will detect the hotness? Receptor will detect the hotness. This receptor will send that information. What kind of information? You are feeling hot. That is the information. That information from the receptor is reached to the, very important, to the dendrites. But how? How is it reached? See, receptor will send the hotness, that information, to the dendrites in the form of chemicals, children. Remember, in the form of chemicals. Very important. Okay, I am telling you what is the function of dendrite. What is dendrite doing? Dendrites are the hair-like structures. What is dendrite? It is the hair-like structure. Okay, I will write the notes after explaining this. Dendrites are the hair-like structures. They receive the information from whom? Receptors. In the form of chemicals. Okay, when you touch the hot object, receptors could detect that. By detecting that information, it is passing to nerve which is present in your hand. Correct. So, to which part of the nerve cell the information is reaching? To the dendrites. How is it reaching? In the form of chemicals. I hope you are clear with this. Very clear? Okay. Very important, children. Note, this is very important. Okay, I repeat, dendrites are the hair-like structures. What do? They receive the information from the receptors in the form of chemicals. Then what will its dendrite do? After receiving this chemical information, dendrites will convert this chemical information. See, information is reached here. This information which is entering inside the dendrites will be converted into, this chemical information is converted into electrical impulse. I am writing electrical impulse, children. I repeat, very important. Dendrites are hair-like structure. What do? They receive the information from receptors. How? In the form of chemicals. And they convert it into electrical impulse. Chemical information is converted into electrical information. Clear, right? Okay. Now, this electrical information from the dendrites has reached to which part of the neuron or the nerve cell? It has reached to the cell body. So, let us now describe the cell body or cyton. What is cell body? What is cyton? Cell body or the cyton is the anterior portion or upper portion of the nerve cell. It consists of nucleus. It consists of cytoplasm. See, surrounded by this cytoplasm, around this cytoplasm, I am telling about this, around this nucleus where there is cytoplasm, there are so many cell organelles. Previous year I have learnt about cell organelles, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum. All those cell organelles are present here also. But no need to mention in exam now. Okay, what you need to write? Cell body is made up of, or it contains, nucleus and cytoplasm. What will it do? This cell body receives the electrical impulses from where? From the dendrites. Remember, cell body receives the electrical impulses from the dendrites, and this electrical impulse is passed towards the axon. Very simple, no? Very simple. So what is cell body doing? It is receiving electrical impulse from dendrites and passing towards the axon. Clear, right? So now, moving to next part, axon. What is axon? See, axon is the longest fiber, or we can say longest part of the nerve cell. Axon is the longest part of the nerve cell. I hope you are clear with this, right? What will this axon do? Axon receives the electrical impulses from the cell body and pass this information towards the, which part? Towards the axonal ending, or we can say nerve ending. Clear with this, right? What is axon doing? It is receiving the electrical impulses from the cell body and passing towards the axonal ending. Okay? Now, the last part is what? Axonal ending. What axonal ending will do? Electrical impulses from the dendrites till the axonal ending has reached. This axonal ending, it will convert. It converts, remember, it converts electrical information into chemical information. It converts electrical information into chemical information. Okay, whatever the electrical impulses that has that is passed throughout the body of the nerve cell is converted back to chemical information with the help of axonal ending. What next? See, after this neuron, there will be another neuron also. So, neurons are continuously present. See, they are continuously present. See, there are billions of neurons present in our body. Billions. One neuron is connected to another neuron. But what happens here is, you need to clearly understand. Now, I told you axonal ending has converted electrical information into chemical information. Correct? So now there is chemical information here. Okay. So what we will call this chemical information? I am calling it as chemicals. Correct. So these chemicals from this axonal ending will reach to the next dendrite. Okay. When it is reaching to next dendrite, this chemical information, as soon as it reaches the next dendrite, what happens? When it comes to dendrite again, it will convert into electrical impulse only. After remember, when electrical impulse is passed throughout the body of axon, okay, when it reaches at the end of axonal ending, electrical impulses will turn off and convert into chemical information. These chemicals will move to next dendrites, that is to the next axon. Again, when it reaches to next axon, this chemical information will convert into electrical information. And again, from the dendrites, electrical information is passed throughout the axonal ending, and again at the axonal ending, again electrical information turn off and convert into chemical. Again that chemical will reach to next nerve cell. So like this, information throughout the nerve cell or throughout the nervous system is carried in the form of electrochemical impulse. Information is carried in the form of electrochemical impulse. This is very important. Okay, information is carried in the form of electrochemical impulse. I hope you are clear with this. Okay, right. So now what you need to understand here is, see, I told you, chemical information is passing from the axonal ending. Chemical information is passing towards the dendrites. See, between these two neurons, there is a small gap. Through this gap only, the chemical information is passing to next nerve cell. So this gap which is present between one neuron and another neuron. See, we can say two neurons. There are two neurons. Between two neurons, there is a small gap. In this gap only chemical information is passed. This gap is called as synapse. What is it called as? Synapse. Very important. It is called as synapse. Okay. What is synapse? They will ask for 1 mark. Okay. They will ask the parts and functions of the nerve cell. They will ask which is the longest fiber of the nerve cell, axon. What is synapse now? Synapse is the gap between two neurons. The gap between two neurons is called as synapse. So between this synapse, okay, I told you information is passed. Chemicals are passed. These chemicals which are stimulated, released by axonal ending towards the next dendrite. I repeat. See, this portion I would like to rub and I'll tell you. See, what are you observing here is, axonal ending is converting the electrical information to chemical information. Correct? So, this information, okay, which got converted from electrical to chemical is carried by axonal ending towards the dendrite by neurotransmitters. We will call it as neurotransmitters. What is neurotransmitters? Neurotransmitters are those cells. They carry the information from the axonal ending towards the dendrite. From the axonal ending towards the dendrite, information is passed. That information is passed in the form of neurotransmitters. These are the type of cells, they carry the information from axonal ending to dendrite in the form of chemicals. I hope I am very clear with you. If you still have any doubt related to this concept, please children, make sure that you have to understand this clearly in order to know the reflex action. Clear, right? So, a quick glance I will do. See what is happening in this nerve cell. See, there are so many parts involved in this nerve cell, starting from dendrites. What is the function of dendrites? Dendrites, okay, remember, dendrites, they receive the information from the receptors in the form of chemicals and they convert it into electrical information. Now, this electrical information which is reaching to the dendrites is made to pass inside the cell body. What is the function of cell body? Cell body receives the electrical information from the dendrites and pass towards the axon. What is the function of axon? Axon carry this electrical information from the cell body towards the nerve ending. What is the function of nerve ending? Nerve ending convert this electrical information into chemical information and these chemicals are transported from the axonal ending or the nerve ending towards the next dendrite in the form of neurotransmitters. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. Remember, how is the information traveled throughout the nerve cell or throughout the nervous system? Throughout the nervous system, the information is carried in the form of electrochemical impulse. That means electrical impulse, chemical impulse, electrical impulse, chemical impulse. In this form only, throughout the nervous system, information is carried. Fastly it is carried. So how is it carried? In the form of electrochemical impulse. I hope I made this session very clear to understand the parts and the functions of the nerve cell. So before understanding this, as I told you, you must know what is stimuli, what is receptor also. Right. So in the next video, I will be discussing about the reflex action. Okay. So I will start with the types of neuron. After explaining types of neuron, I will be explaining the reflex action and followed by, we will also talk about the brain in the upcoming session. Hope you find this video useful. If you are finding this video useful, please share this video. It's a humble request. So most of the students are not having a proper basics about the concepts. It is very important to know each and every concept in a very proper manner to attend the board examination. Okay. So saying so much, I'll be ending this video. Thank you so much for watching this video.